Well, I think, well, I came into this with a somewhat liberalist notion of, what it means for women to be empowered, and what it means to have liberty and freedom in your lives. But I think my involvement with the Quran reading groups gives me a different take on what it means for them to be free, and what it means for them to have liberty in their lives, and how they exercise freedom and the choices that they make and the options that they open themselves up to in their lives. And I think those are probably different from, the outcome is probably different from what I thought freedom, from what I thought freedom should naturally, the natural progression of freedom. So it's interesting, I think, as an academic and just analytically looking at what these issues are, what are the different ways in which freedom is enacted, and what is the folk notion, what are the different folk notions of how freedom is enacted, and the methods through which, the modes through which freedom is enacted.
And in what way do you find your liberal freedom different from that which you find in the Quranic reading groups?
Well, I used to like to think that the liberal freedom is, I'm autonomous, I'm an individual, and I don't have to be as regulated by norms. But, I'm starting to question some of my own ideas of that kind of freedom as well. So.
And
I think freedom is probably different from empowerment.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, they are very tied together. But I think there is scope to make an analytical separation between empowerment and freedom. And if I look at these very religious women who are reverting to a very orthodox brand of Islam, they feel very empowered if you talk to them, and there are ways in which they're using these tools, these things that they're getting from religion, ideas, doctrines that that are coming their way, and the way they're using that in their personal lives, at homes, and in women's spaces, as well as negotiating public spaces that are not necessarily purely women's spaces. I think they do feel empowered. So I think the modes in which that they are accessing or negotiating those spaces for themselves are probably, and the idioms through which they're doing that are probably different, for them than the liberalist kind of discourse. But empowerment is, I wouldn't sit in on one of these groups and think that these women are oppressed, or that they feel oppressed, or that they're bogged down by something that's been thrown at them. So